Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Morten Aastad here with a thread response to Christian over there at Front to Back Vinyl. Christian has launched a little thread for us to do, and we are happy that he has done so, aren't we? Yes, we are. I am. It's all about showing records that are in some way connected to and relating to winter. It's mid-November here in Oslo. It was below zero at nighttime now here in Oslo, I think for the first time so far. This is where, Oslo can be either very much in late fall. Just a few days ago, it was unseasonably warm, 12-13 degrees. This morning, however, we're looking at more like 3 degrees and completely blue sky, sunshine. If you hear a little bit of a noise in the background, which I can't really hear because I'm got my ears covered, it's my dishwasher. I have a few things to get sorted, and I want to get out of here and try and enjoy the cold. So Christian wanted us to show records that are somehow related to winter. So I thought about that for a moment, and I thought, well, I should be able to do this being Scandinavian and about Scandinavian artists and records. He didn't specify necessarily how many records we should show, so I tried to get 2 from each country. Didn't work out quite as I had hoped. It's almost a Nordic instead of a Scandinavian thread, this winter thread. However, sorry Tommy and anyone else out there in Finland, I do not have any music from Finland. I have an Estonian CD, but I didn't think that would help, so you have to forgive me. Anyway, I think I'll remove this because I'm hearing an echo in my head now. And I'm back. Yes, as you can see, I'm wearing a cap from the other true north, and I removed my heavy, thick sweater because it's not actually that cold in here, but that stays up here for the duration of the video. For the first record, I'm heading across the ocean to that one non-Scandinavian country in my video. Although the inhabitants of that country are descendants of Scandinavians, primarily Norwegians, yes, we're going to Iceland. And of course, we have to go and check out a record by one of my favorite Scandinavian Nordic people, Chrck. Chrck, I was first made aware of back in my first year in high school when I got the debut album by the Chrck. And I have all the 3 records by Chrck, but they are in Denmark, and I have a couple of CDs here, but I'm trying to not show too many CDs in this video, but that also kind of failed. So Chrck, of course, she gives off an energy of the old Norse sagas and fairy tales and pagan rituals and stories. And she herself is, at one time like the volcanoes of Iceland, and then again she'll be like the frozen tundra and the glaciers of Iceland, all rolled into one, gift to us all, which is Chrck. And the song on here that I would to focus on is Aurora, but you also have songs like Frosty, you have Hidden Place, and Pagan Poetry, all these songs that define this wonderful album. Vespertine was a very sharp departure from her 3 first albums, which were, in her sense of the word, catchy, I suppose. And this is a much more introverted record. I would still claim it's easier to the listener than some of her subsequent very vocal heavy albums, but it's a wonderful album. So the lyric I just wanted to read quickly from Aurora is treading the glacier head, looking hard for moments of shine from twilight to twilight. Utter mundane, Aurora, goddess sparkle, shoot me beyond this suffer, the need is great. Aurora. Yeah, I love Björk. For the next record, we're not going to move very far. I don't have that much to say about the lyrics or anything, but it's another Icelandic band or project, I suppose. This is a band sometimes I listen to some music and I think this would be a really good record for certain members of the wine community. I think maybe Jason and Brian would love this if they don't already know it. This is GusGus. This was their debut album. I think it came out in 97. Or it might have been 96. Anyway, I bought it when I was living in Denmark. Yeah, 97. There's this track here called Cold Breath. Something you would definitely experience in Iceland. Apparently it's the only country, at least in Europe, that doesn't have mosquitoes, but they do show up from time to time, and I just read an article that they worried about some mosquitoes now apparently seemingly managing to survive there. We'll see, but there's some ice there as well. So Poly Distortion from GusGus. I did show them in a previous video. I think this is Reykjavik, by the way, where I did something about lost 90s something or other. From Iceland, we travel across the North Sea to Norway, the country where the Icelandic people mostly come from, and we go to my home city, the capital of Oslo, Norway, and we look at a record by Oslo's De Lillos, one of the big five Norwegian rock bands of the 1980s and later on. And this was their second album. And we're not looking at a song title here, we're looking at the album title. The album title is Før var det morsomt med sne, which translates probably more or less directly to snow used to be fun. The Lillos often sing about, childhood memories, summer past, that first teenage love, mundane things like being a young guy, having some beers at a pub, being talked to by some less than savory older guy who's trying to rekindle his youth by talking to the young people in the pub and so on. And obviously, when you grow up, you do sort of remember, unless you're one of those fanatic who loves winter, of which there are a lot of in this country. But when you were a kid, snow used to be fun, and I can agree with that. It used to be fun. I don't like it anymore, to be honest. I thought I'd grab another De Lillos record because I couldn't make up my mind which one to show. This is a much later album. This is from 2011, so 14 years ago. This is Trist å være glad. It's sad to be happy. And it has a song called November Natt. A November Night. And it's actually Lars Lillo's dad who gave him the idea to the song, singing about going home from because his dad was also a musician, going home from like a gig or something in Oslo in November. Så Så mørkt overalt, hver dag blir som natt. Jeg føler meg sviktet og evig forlatt, deprimert og forsømt og tilsidesatt. Som en utvasket katt, novembernatt. So he sings about it's dark everywhere. Sun came up at 8:15 this morning, and it sets, I think now at 3:50. Absolutely short days in November, and it's going to get worse until it turns around in December. He feels despondent, let down, forever abandoned, depressed and neglected and set aside, like a washed out cat November night. So that's something a lot of us Northern Hemisphere people can relate to, I'm sure. For the next album, I'm staying with my home country of Norway. Aurora, that artist, not Chrck, the song title. She also is very much, like Björk. We don't have volcanoes, but we have deep, dark forests. Tall mountains, rock hard, granite, soft, shores, cliffs, delving into the dark North Sea, and with the icy glow of Aurora's face and being, she really, she's really like a physical and musical ambassador for sort of that sort of lost Norway in many ways, I think, from all the way back into Norse times and beyond that. And there's a couple of songs here that, gives you that feeling. This is her debut album, by the way. And Winter Bird is definitely a song that fits with this thread. And from Norway we travel southward to my other home country, Denmark, and struggling a little bit finding two albums from Denmark. I didn't want to just do one, and I remembered, hey, didn't you just recently get a record by the wonderful Kashmir? Der har vi nogle danske drenge, og dem kan vi jo godt lide, ikke? De er dejlige Danmark, wonderful Denmark. There is a song simply called Snowman on this record. And there's a wintry representation from Denmark. And I have to go a little bit old school with the next one. This was the last album Kim Larsen released while he was still alive. And there is a posthumous album as well. So this is Kim Larsen og Chrck, Øst for Vesterled. And he has a song on here which is just called Winter Night, right there. Winter Night. Gode gamle Kim, der har vi ham. Ja, Kim, nu sidder der. So when was this released? This was 2017. Did he pass away in 2018? Anyway, it was recorded in Odense in 2016 and 2017 And of course, as a Norwegian and a Dane, I love Kim Larsen. Then we travel across the sea, the shortest stretch over to Sweden, over to Sverige. Och det är ju vinter i Sverige också. It's winter even in Sweden. Sometimes I would say probably often colder than many parts of Norway, because we're more affected by, you know, the Gulf Stream and the ocean, and Denmark is much milder. But how about our lovely sisters there in First Aid Kit? And you know, when they sing, they sometimes also give you know, your feelings of winter in some of their songs, obviously. But this song here is very much a wintry song, I would think. It's Winter is All Over You. There we go. So that was First Aid Kit from the Big Black and the Blue. For the last two records, we're staying with Sweden, and these two are not going to be songs or song titles. They're going to be visual, sort of. Well, this looks like it's got something to do with winter. First, we go to ABBA with Voulez-vous, my personal favorite of their albums, probably because it was the first studio album I got from them when I was a kid. None of these songs or titles, or not even the cover, is meant to be, you know, a presentation that I was thinking of. Neither is this lovely picture of three Swedes and a Norwegian. No, I was thinking about the record label. Polar. I think that speaks for itself. And last up in this winter journey, we are staying in Sweden, like I said. And this time it's the album cover, which is the winter representation. This is the wonderful band, the Cardigans, with the equally wonderful Nina Persson. And I think this album cover really fits this thread. You know, I remember seeing girls like this when I was a kid, you know, on the, well, not so much ice skating rink as much as frozen ponds and lakes. We don't have as many ice or skating rinks and halls as the Swedes do here in Norway. That's why one of the reasons we're probably not quite up to speed when it comes to ice hockey as they are. But we do have a legendary figure skater in our history here in Norway called Sonja Hennie. Well, she passed away in, I think it was 67 or 8 or 9. She won the Olympic gold medal for Norway in figure skating back in the very early days of that sport and the Winter Olympics. And then she went on to have a bit of a career as an actress in Hollywood. And, you know, a bit like Weissmuller in those Tarzan movies, you know, the Olympic swimmer where he, for some reason, had, you know, Tarzan ended up swimming a lot there in the deep jungle, and she would also end up, you know, doing a lot of sort of uncalled for figure skating, I suppose, in her movies. But she didn't lie on her back for long conversations in order to keep her belly in as much as Johnny Weissmuller did towards the end. So anyway, I think this is such a wonderful album. This is the Swedish pressing, by the way. So if you do one day decide to get this, remember that the tracks are a little bit different, and also the order somewhat different than the CD that was released internationally. I was not aware of it because I bought this summer in Stockholm, and when I got home and played it, I was a little bit confused because I thought, isn't this, you know, the song from that other earlier CD? And yes, in some cases it was. So thanks to Christian for coming up with this thread. Please head on over to his channel. If you're not already subscribed and you're thinking, aren't I subscribed? Well, he had to restart his channel, so maybe this will be a good reminder for you to head on over and give him a sub. So from a not quite yet wintry Oslo, all the best from Morten here, and I hope you guys will have a wonderful weekend, because it is Friday. Take care. Ha det bra. Hei då. Farvel.